What are IVs and EVs? To make it simple, they're what affect how big or small stats are, but to be more thorough, first I'll explain IVs. IVs, or individual values, affect your stats from a range of 1 to 16. 16 is the best and 1 is the worst. It can give a Morty an extra 3 stat points at low levels to 32 extra stat points at high levels. There are a few ways you can calculate IVs, like through the official wiki, a Google sheet, or an IV Discord bot. There's 1 out of 4,096 chance your Morty will be considered perfect or perfect trash. Perfect is if all IVs are 16, and perfect trash is if all IVs are 1. HP IV is an average of all other stats. So a Morty with 16 attack, 1 defense, and 1 speed would have an HP IV of 6. The game always rounds HP IVs down, so even if the average 15.99, the game rounds it down to 15. IVs can never and will never be changeable. Once you catch a Morty, its IVs are permanent. When calculating IVs, you may notice you get ranges like 10 to 16. Ranges are basically saying the IV can be one of these numbers, so the only way to lessen the range is to level seed or switch train. I'll explain more of these later. Ranges are not random, IVs are predetermined the moment you catch them. Also, a side note, determining IVs in campaign is basically impossible. I'll explain further in a later section. EVs, or effort values, start at 0 in multiplayer. They increase as you daze Mortys. When EV is maxed out at 65,535 EV, Mortys can have an additional 128 stat points in every stat. Mortys gain EV based off base stats. A Morty with 100 attack as a base stat would need to daze 656 Mortys who maxed it out. Attack, defense, and speed seeds give 2,560 EV for each stat.
You need about 26 seeds
to max out a single stat. HP does not have a seed, so the only way to train it is by dazing Mortys. I'll explain the weirdness of campaign now. Campaign is very weird. In multiplayer, once your Morty is trained, it won't accept any more seeds. However, in campaign, you can seed your Mortys forever, which makes the stats however big you want them to be. In campaign, all Mortys you catch will have a range of EV from 0 to 20,000, which makes figuring out IVs basically impossible. I might further go into the weirdness of campaign at a later video. If you've interacted with the community or ever traded a Morty, you might have heard about faked IVs. These are when someone adds EV to a Morty to make IVs look better than what they actually are. EV training will reveal what the IVs actually are. There's no way to fake EV train Mortys unless you're trying to fake perfect trash. A few ways to notice if a Morty is faked is by averaging all the stat IVs together to see if the HP IV matches. If it doesn't, then it's fake. Another way is by asking the person who has the Morty to level seed it. If the IVs change or becomes unknown being displayed as -1, it is fake. There are a few ways to level Mortys up without gaining EV. Switch training or level seed. Level seeds give us level without giving EV. So level seeds are one of the best ways to level up a Morty without giving EV, which makes them very effective at lessening IV ranges. Switch training is when you switch the Morty you want to level out and daze the opponent with a different Morty. Only the Morty who does the killing blow gets EV, while both get XP. You might be thinking IVs, EVs, and base stats are all connected or affect each other. First, I'll explain base stats. Base stats are what the devs give Mortys, which influence stats naturally, how low or high their stats are. Trover Morty has the highest defense in the game, along with Xmas Present. Grotron has the highest speed in the game, along with the Pale Morty. No other Morty can match them in their strongest stat, because their base stat is just higher than everyone else. IVs only add an extra few stats onto their already high stats. If you're interested in min-maxing, finding Gotrons with max speed would give you the fastest Morty in the game. EVs are affected by base stats kinda. Base stats affect how EV is gained. A Gotron has a base stat of 130, so to max that Gotron speed, you need to daze 505 Mortys. When in the community, you'll often see people advertise their Mortys or talking about their Mortys and giving numbers like 15, 15, 15, 16, or 15, 16. To break this down further,
you're typing the Morty's IVs you're talking about / trading.
If you're confused about the IVs order, they look like HP, attack, defense, speed, or HP, speed. To summarize, IVs range from 1 to 16. It can give 3 stat points up to 32 stat points depending on the level. EVs can only be gained by dazing Mortys or level seeds. Once you EV training Morty, they gain up to 128 stat boosts to every stat. EV training can make any Morty powerful, but IVs can be used to min-max Mortys. EV can be used to fake IVs, so understanding how these two function can help you prevent from getting scammed or misled. I'll have links to calculate IVs and EVs and look at Mortys in the description, so please check that out. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. I'll do my best to clear up any misunderstandings in my video. That's all. Go away.